Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I feel really good today because at my new workplace, I was at an event where people didn't even notice that I wasn't eating their food, and this is in stark contrast to other places I've worked. I had a bad experience when I was working on my PhD. Back then, it was not very popular to say no to food, and I would often lose my food somewhere, right? I'd go to a seminar or some kind of event where there was birthday cake, pizza, and one time I had placed it into a podium, thinking I'll throw it away later. I forgot about it, and so a few days later I overheard somebody saying that the room stunk. I didn't use that room for anything else. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that cake or whatever it was. And I ran into that a couple of times until one day the dean wanted to talk to me about my, he thought I had a hoarding disorder. I explained that I didn't want to disrespect my classmate whose birthday or whatever, so I think it was his anniversary of getting his PhD or something like that. And so even then, my dean had very little sympathy for me, and he chided me for how big a mess I made, and how he had to, his custodian had to stay overtime, and something like that. I don't have to deal with that anymore. In fact, I was just at an event where nobody wanted soda, and there was all this leftover soda. All the water was gone, and that's really in stark contrast to where we were 15 years ago. I used to really dislike it when people visited my apartment because people would comment on my choice of food because they thought I was not eating right. You know, I had lots of baking chocolate, I had a lot of supplements, and there might be a few fresh fruits or vegetables, but a lot of it was like powdered, like oat bran, spirulina, seaweed, and to a lot of people, that's a very foreign concept for them to see. And I just remember thinking to myself, God, if I had children, I think CPS would want to take them away for not having suitable food in the home, right? And so even to this day, I cannot imagine how CPS would think if they came by my home and saw what was in my refrigerator and how I feed my children baking chocolate and all that. It will probably not go down. I'll certainly have a lot of explaining to do at the very least, right? All right, how far we've come in 15 years, right? It makes me want to keep myself healthy so I can see the next 100, 200 years of us starting to accept people for their ways, right? By the way, I prefer not to say a dietary preference or even a allergy or a religious. I prefer to call it a dietary orientation, and we should accept each other for our dietary orientations. Now, why is that? Because if somebody just has a preference of how they want to eat, we should still respect that, even if there's no medical reason for it. I often hear some people chide others who lie about having food allergies. The truth is, these people feel compelled to lie so that they can get accommodated. Maybe they have a really strong preference. Some people are super tasters, right? We should still respect that so that these people don't have to lie, right? All right, that was a very warm, fuzzy feeling I got today. I didn't have to play any games with my dietary orientation. Although I wish in an ideal world, right, I still wish I could come out of the closet for this, but at least I blend right in now. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.